PF Pamodzi Alliance Secretary General Celestine Mukandila, thank you so much for joining me on this day tonight.
Thank you very much for having me, sir. And of course, I'm glad to be here.
Today you successfully managed to pre-process the 100 supporters from the Resolute Party, the party represented Makebi Zulu. But I think what transpired today, some it was a show of overwhelming support to your candidate, but to some it was total confusion. Run us through what happened today.
Well, I can tell you that President Makebi is a very, very attractive candidate. As a matter of fact, he's a very, very much supported individual. Whatever transpired today is just a signal of what we expect to see come the election date. And of course, it's a show to tell you that the Zambian people have accepted the duo that we've given you to the Zambian people. We have BM8 on one end, we have MZ8 on the other end. This is a winning ticket, as a matter of fact. So what we saw today is just a tip of the iceberg as to what exactly the Zambian people are feeling. There is anger, which has culminated into a lot of anger. You know, there's hunger, which has culminated into a lot of hunger. So what you saw today is just, like I indicated, a tip of the iceberg. We are yet to see more. And of course, I can confirm with you that just the kind of overwhelming support we saw today, without fearing any person, we saw that people just responded. Now, supposing this was not a working day, supposing it was a weekend, what kind of support would you have seen? So where we are is a clear show and a clear indication of the change that is coming come 13th of August 2026. This change is in the eyes of everyone. The Zambian people are yearning for this change. So ideally, the mammoth people that you saw, we only organized 100 people. And by the way, as a matter of fact, those that you saw that we organized are those that we just informed our party structures within Lusaka, within Northern Province, within Copperbelt, within Central Province, Luapula, Western, and throughout the country. We just mobilized our party structures. And we saw that the Zambian people decided to react, and they came to give support to our candidate, to President.
I know we're showing the picture in the background, but I think my question was based off the fact that, did you tell them to behave in an orderly manner?
Well, we don't have control over how individuals behave. As a matter of fact, we do not have control of how the Zambian people will behave. Perhaps there was a lot of jubilation. The Zambian people today have shown the love they have for President Makebi. They've shown the love they have for the new duo that has been introduced on the political scene. I mean, this has been the most amazing coalition in the history of this country. We've never had the most attractive ticket ever like the one we have today, where we have BM8 on one end, where we have MZ8 on the other end. So in terms of the reaction of the people just love these individuals. People just love President Makebi Zulu. So it's not up to us. Like you saw there, it was very clear. Those that were our supporters, I understand, as a matter of fact. The only thing we did was to organize the banners and the 100 from our structures. The rest of the people you saw came on their own. So it's just a reaction from the Zambian people. We don't have control over how much love these people want to show the two presidents.
When you say this is the most amazing and most attractive ticket that this country has ever seen, what exactly do you mean? Because the people watching tonight, Council Celestine Mukandila, are saying that Makebi Zulu and Brand Mundubile are coming from the same party. They're coming, in fact, both of them a patriotic front. And so what has happened is just PF and PF coming together and nothing more attractive.
Well, remember, as a matter of fact, what we're looking at are two different alliances coming together. which has culminated into a grand alliance. On one end, we've got President Makebi Zulu, who's the president of the Tiyende Pamodzi Alliance. On the other end, we've got President Brian Mundubile, who's the president of the Tonse Alliance. So we must be very magnanimous and tell the facts as they are. We have two alliances that have come together to create a grand alliance. And this has been as a result of the call from the many people. Many Zambians called that this should be the winning ticket. The two leaders must come together. And voila, we've given it to the Zambian people. We have answered the call for unity of purpose. Now we've given you the winning ticket. As of yesterday, whatever transpired yesterday is the beginning of a revolution. That is, in fact, the change itself. That shows that we actually won those elections as of yesterday. We've responded to the call from the church. We've responded to the call from the civil society organizations. We've responded from the call from the marketeers. We've responded from the call from the bus drivers, from the Yango drivers, and from many people across the country.
So are you saying the Zambian people are calling for PF to come together?
Well, the Zambian people have been indicating that the opposition must come together.
Because
yes,
what
we come from one party,
Mm.
which is the Patriotic Front.
Yes.
One that was annihilated by the UPND regime. However, the Zambian people called that the opposition must come together. So what we have shown is unity of purpose. Of course, all of us had one shepherd, and that shepherd was President Edgar Lungu, and may his soul rest in peace. Upon the demise of the shepherd, the house became slightly divided. And now you have seen the kind of unity that has been exemplified by these leaders. They have been very magnanimous to realize that it is not about individual ambitions. It is not about what your friends feel. It is about the interest of the country. We must be patriotic, and that is what our two comrades have shown the Zambian people, that these are patriotic sons of the soil. Mm. They have indicated on several forums that even if it meant that either of them should go and contest as a councillor just for the sake of serving the nation, they shall do it. Because what we are foreseeing right now in this country, the kind of hunger, the kind of pain we're undergoing is so much that posterity will judge us very harshly if we decided to continue on separate wavelengths. Now we've given the Zambian people what it is that they requested for, which is unity of purpose.
Makes the Zambian people understand tonight, Councillor Celestine, you early on today, you managed to successfully pre-process your supporters from the Resolute Party that Councillor Makebi Zulu is representing. A few days ago, we did see the FDD as well successfully doing the same. So we have two presidential candidates that are saying they formed a coalition, individually managed to successfully pre-process their supporters. How exactly is this coalition going to work out? Because you've got FDD on one end and you've got Resolute Party on one end. All of you have expressed interest to want to participate in these coming elections.
Well, I can confirm to you, or with you, that there is a common ground that has been made at a point of equity and at that point of convergence, where the two leaders agreed that we shall work together. The two alliances agreed that we shall work together. Now, I wish to confirm that there shall be one ticket that shall be used. As a matter of fact, one ticket will be used. These two individuals will be on one ballot. And I want to confirm that.
One as president and one as running mate.
Exactly. I want to confirm that. But, of course, as things are, we needed to do all the administrative processes to the run-up to the general elections. However, I want to confirm that this shall be the winning ticket, and we are unseating Hakainde Hichilema this
has it been agreed who is going to be running mate and who is going to be president?
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Can you tell us?
Unfortunately, like I indicated, I want to confirm that the two individuals MZ8 and BM8 will be on one ballot.
One as president, one
as president, and one as running
mate.
Yes.
Do we know as of yet who will be president and who will be running mate?
Well, that shall be told to the Zambian people very soon. The Zambian people will be made to know extremely soon. Extremely soon. Yes.
So, help us understand. You are using the Resolute Party as a special purpose vehicle. Honorable Brian Mundubile is using the FDD as a special purpose vehicle. He still has some struggles there in the FDD that we are very much aware of. And so, what is the plan here? Do you intend to make one of these two political parties a special purpose vehicle, or perhaps the FDD will still remain as a special purpose vehicle?
Well, like I indicated, it must be confirmed that one special purpose vehicle or one vehicle will be used by the candidates, as a matter of fact. Whether it's FDD, whether it's the Resolute Party, but whatever the case, we've indicated to the Zambian people, for example, from the Tiyende Pamodzi Alliance, that we've got a special purpose vehicle, which is the Resolute Party. And we've indicated that ichola icho twaleta lero. So not to military ichola we tata, ichola we mayo, ichola we msepela, and that is what we've introduced. And the wave has been very good. The response has been good, and you have seen, I mean, as a matter of fact, ichola signifying, for example, that everything that we do, every person on a journey, a serious journey, going anywhere, as long as it's a serious journey, every person will have to carry a bag. I mean, I'll give an example. Just recently, we saw President Hakainde going into a meeting with heads of states in Kenya carrying a bag. Nankwala to support her. So this shows that Ichola is the wave. It's the new wave. Yeah. It's the new deal, and we are actually very resolute that we shall be able to provide a ticket for the candidates, either on the FDD or on the Resolute Party.
I'd like to find out more about the Resolute Party that you've been using as the Tiyende Pamodzi Alliance. Who was initially the president of this political party, or perhaps was it a political party that you just recently formed?
Well, I can confirm with you that the Resolute Party was recently formed. It was formed as of last year. However, the president and members of the party are as contained on the list of office bearers from the Registrar of Societies. And I can confirm that it is as clean as Kenneth Kaunda's handkerchief, and it is as smooth as the best ticket to use, as a matter of fact. And I also wish to dispel allegations that the Resolute Party may be in court. The Resolute Party is not in any court whatsoever. Social media has been abused of late. We saw that there's been an advert, or I don't know whether it's a clip, which showed that there was a petition before a constitutional court or the High Court. I wish to indicate that that is a fake post. The Resolute Party does not have any legal issue whatsoever. The only party I know which is closely related to us that is in court is the Patriotic Front. Because as of right now, I understand there's an injunction in court against the Patriotic Front. However, we told the Zambian people that even if UPND decides to hold on to the Patriotic Front, even if UPND decides to create stooges or many more stooges, as the case may be, we shall proceed and liberate the Zambian people using whichever vehicle, because the Zambian people know where the Patriotic Front is. And today, the Zambian people indicated that there were those that were on the fence, thinking there was a house divided, where on the other end there was Brian Mundubile, the other end there was Makebi Zulu. I want to confirm that now we have agreed, we are working together, and we are now one house.
Would you confirm also tonight, Council, that the one who formed the Resolute Party is Makebi Zulu?
I cannot confirm that. I know that the one who formed the Resolute Party is a president that is appearing on the list of office bearers, and it is not Makebi Zulu.
And he's transferred the party to Makebi Zulu?
Yes, pretty much. We're very safe.
And probably maybe that's the next question. How safe is this party? Because apparently what has been said is that both Makebi Zulu and Brad Mundubile will not be on the ballot in this election because they have no party to contest on.
You see, I want to give the Zambian people an assurance. And I don't even know why we keep talking about this issue of party this, party that. The Constitution of the Republic of Zambia does not limit the presidency or running mate position to a political party. Even if Hakainde was to decide to get all of our political parties, I can confirm to you that both Makebi Zulu and President Mundubile will be on the ballot. That I can confirm to you. And both of them shall ensure that we unseat Hakainde. No amount of Mingalato will stop the two from being on the ballot. And I want to confirm to you that this government is actually changing. In August 13, this government is changing. As a matter of fact, I want you to understand.
What is giving you the confidence?
My brother, I will tell you, and I want President Hakainde to also know, in as much as we believe in this cause and in this cause, we are very confident that he's gone.
What's giving you the confidence?
We know the Zambian people have chosen, the Zambian people have told us, the Zambian people are suffering, and we want to liberate them. There is no way you can have a leadership that lacks integrity, as the leadership of today. There is no way you can have a leadership that will come to lie to the Zambian people, as the leadership is today. There is no way you can have a leadership that has brought this country into serious economic doldrums, as the leadership of today. But what we are telling the Zambian people is, a right team has been brought, a right team has accepted the call by the Zambian people to come and lead. A right team, a formidable team, has come to ensure that there is economic liberation, agricultural liberation and diversification. There is proper mining policies for this country. And the confidence we have today is that the Zambian people have told us what they wanted is for the two leaders to come together. And what we shall give them is a victory. It is now in the hands of the Zambian people. These colleagues have been indicating that there is no opposition in this country. It is not the political parties that are in the opposition. It is the Zambian people that are in the opposition. And today, the Zambian people have made a decision that UPND must go. And as a matter of fact, they are going. If I were President Hakainde today, I would not even think of contesting these elections. Because President Hakainde is the most unpopular president ever in this country, in the history of this country. He's been a president of convenience. As a matter of fact, he was only elected into power because the Zambian people thought they did not have an alternative. And President Hakainde was the alternative. But he was never a popular president. Never. And he's never been a popular president. He has tried so hard, so much, to do whatever it is that he could do. He has bought perception by way of paying students. How do you have a crowd that all of them are clad in your regalia, and you want to say, I am popular? Bwana, you've been buying those crowds. I can assure you. President Hakainde has been buying those crowds. Because of that, he must understand, some of us have seen this movie before. And if I were his advisor today, I would tell him, Bwana, do not contest, because you are losing. And losing these elections is what President Hakainde is doing. He can't win an election, not in Zambia. Look at the crowds you saw today. None of those people, very few of them were clad in PF regalia or in any regalia clad written MZ8. None of them. And you could see that these are not arranged people. These are not organized people. These are not paid up people. Compare and contrast. See what will happen when Hakainde will be filing in his pre-nomination clearance. You will see that there will be a sea of red bees, and all of those people will be paid. And we've told our Zambian people that where we have reached, the hunger we are experiencing only requires that what we are doing is Donch Kubeba reloaded.
Meaning?
When they come with the money, get the money. Wear that t-shirt. Go there, make the noise. Get paid. And ensure you take off that t-shirt and pack it. Because where we have reached, whatever monies they are using is our money. These colleagues have stolen money they've stolen medicines and sold them to have that money.
Yeah.
And they've never prosecuted anyone.
In your heart of hearts, you are saying that the ticket for 2026, the presidential ticket, would look like this: Makebi Zulu and Brand Mundu, and you're calling this a Grand Alliance. Has there been any space left for other political parties that are trying to join this alliance? Or perhaps in your heart of hearts, you've already decided who will be president, who will be vice president, and you're not leaving space for any other political party that is interested in joining the alliance, being part of the alliance, and in negotiating on what to be done. Don't you think it's a bit early for you to announce that this is a ticket?
The coming together of these two brothers does not entail that we have stopped talking to other opposition leaders. We have continued to dialogue. We have continued to speak with our opposition leaders. Because remember, like I indicated, we had a shepherd. And the wish of the shepherd was that the opposition in Zambia should come together so as to liberate this country. And we have continued to speak to our brothers. We are speaking to our brothers from the Citizens First. We have continued. As of yesterday, we are confirming the admission, for example, of New Heritage Party into the PF Pamodzi Alliance. As of 4 days ago, we are confirming the admission of the Movement for Multi-Party Democracy into the PF Pamodzi Alliance. So you could be able to see how attractive this ticket is, and just how attractive it is for us to work together. We are responding to a call by Dr. Edgar Lungu, may his soul rest in peace. He called and requested that the Zambian people want us to work together so as to protect and defend our democracy, so as to ensure that we protect our constitution, to ensure that we have a leadership that will be very resolute to ensure that we run this country by rule of law and not by rule of man. What we are seeing today, the abrogations of the law, has been so unprecedented that we could even pass 77 legislation.
Which other political
77 legislation.
Which other political parties?
In 10 days.
Which other political parties are you talking to?
We're talking to pretty much everyone. I can assure you, as a matter of fact, we're talking to everyone. We have decided to synergize this whole process. The opposition will come up with one message. And we are very hopeful that by the time we're getting to a point of filing in our nominations, we shall have very few parties contesting against this regime. And this regime we're definitely beating Hakainde.
We'd like to find out tonight, Council, what the terms of reference for this alliance really looks like.
The basic terms of reference is bordered on patriotism. Patriotism entailing that we must do things for and on behalf of the Zambian people. We must liberate the Zambian people from the doldrums they're going through. We must ensure that the Zambian people should be able to have free speech. The Zambian people should be liberated from the draconian laws that have been enacted by this regime. The Zambian people should have an opportunity to be employed on merit and not out of a fictitious or miraculous database that is kept at the UPND Secretariat or at Community House. No. We want to liberate the Zambian people. And those are some of the things that we've agreed upon, that they should be total and complete independence of institutions of government. Because our democracies can only be as strong as the institutions of government that we are running. We want to ensure that there is independence of the judiciary. We want to ensure that there is independence of the civil service. We want to ensure that there is respect for technocrats in the civil service and in many spheres of the parastatals of the country. We have agreed in principle and as a matter of fact that we shall ensure that we unite the country in real terms. We shall ensure that we don't allow these machinations by this regime to show or to propel division in whichever way, as the case may be. We have said it is one Zambia and one nation, and we want to restore the real definition, the real meaning of one Zambia and one nation. 73 ethnic groupings, all living in one country, one unitary country called Zambia. We want to ensure that this country thrives above. The country must be a food basket in the region and in the globe. We want to open up opportunities for the students. Tertiary education should be one that is attached to employment opportunities. We have told the Zambian people that, by the way, we'll equally be launching the manifesto for PF Pamodzi Alliance, and we'll be reconciling the two manifestos for Tonse Alliance and the PF Pamodzi Alliance. Amongst the issues that we've looked at to ensure that we try and quench and to try and resolve and to try and ensure that the Zambian people have the correct solution is the issue of real-time employment, pensionable employment, using local resources. For example, I'll give you a leakage of amongst the things that you find in our manifesto. Did you know that Zafiko has got 200 hectares of land? 200 hectares of land. Imagine that 200 hectares of land. We shall ensure that we have an investment into the beehives, honey production. We shall ensure that we have 50 million beehives. I'm giving you an idea because there's a concept paper behind this. We shall ensure that we have 50 million beehives. From the 50 million beehives, the process shall be phased. Employment will be done in such a way that we'll have ZNS, which will recruit the Zambian youths and train these people and ensure that we come up with those beehives. It will be phased in such a way that in the first 2 years, we'll ensure that we have almost half of that 50 million, which is 25 million. 25 million beehives. Per beehive, per one person is capable of taking care of 100 beehives, as a matter of fact. Now, I want you to understand this. If you are going to have one person taking care of 100 beehives, it simply means that you have about 5 million, is it 2.5 million jobs for half of that, which is 25 million beehives, yeah? 2.5 million jobs, direct jobs, my brother. Now, these 2.5 million jobs, imagine the moment you have 2.5 million jobs, it means there will be a trickle-down effect. You will need to construct hospitals within the areas of different forests. You will need to construct schools within the areas of different forests. It simply means that you will employ teachers on the long run. You will employ doctors, nurses in the long run. We're looking at a 2-year expansion project. Now, from there, the beehive will produce honey. The honey you produce, you will also be exported, and some of it will be used for local consumption. That process in itself will produce also, there are also those byproducts from the honey, the wax, which goes to the cosmetic industry. So in essence, from the 2.5 million jobs, which you know they are already secured, you go down, hospitals, teachers, nurses, and all. You also know that these 2.5 million families or people will need to buy a bag of mealie meal every month almost. It means you are going to have 2.5 million bags. Simply put, agriculture in terms of crop production will have to increase. It simply means that the milling plants will need to employ. It simply means that the money, Airtel money transactions, you will have a lot of booths. So all that is employment. It simply means that you will also have a hypermarket store that will need to service those areas of interest. Apart from that, my brother, the biggest question will be, where then do we source for capital? Now, in Zambia, we've told ourselves, because we had technocrats looking at this issue, the biggest capital base we have is the pension industry, the pension fund that we have. We've got a hefty pension fund, which is our capital base, NAPSA. This shall fund these projects. Loans shall be gotten from the pension funds. And this project will be funded. This is money that is already settled there. We are not talking about things that cannot be done. So you're looking at 2.5 million jobs. The trickle-down effect will produce a barest minimum of 10 million jobs in 4 years. Barest minimum. And these are things that are capable of happening. So just to give you a synopsis or a leakage of what you expect to see in the Tiyende Pamodzi Alliance manifesto and how we intend to create jobs. And that is only one industry, which is the agriculture industry, the forestry department. Now imagine if we have to look at the mines, the mining industry. We will not do things that deal with issues like these colleagues right now who decided to even massacre people in Mumfumbwe. The Mumfumbwe massacre, by the way, as a matter of fact, it's been agreed in principle also that there must be a commission of inquiry to understand the Mumfumbwe massacre. There is no way a decent government can decide to allow a massacre to happen in Mumfumbwe the way that our youth died. I remember very well, President Hakainde will always talk about, no, Mapenzi this, Lawrence this. But these colleagues have massacred people in Mumfumbwe. And the Zambian people are watching. I pray to God that the souls of those young men and women that were massacred cry in the night to these guys to tell them to say, you have massacred us because we wanted to enjoy the national wealth that God above gave us.
You don't think that's a misrepresentation of facts when you say this government massacred people in Mumfumbwe?
Sir, it is not a misrepresentation of fact. Let us be realistic. There was a cabinet memoranda that was issued to say get rid of illegal miners in Mumfumbwe. As a result of that, an instruction was issued to the police and the soldiers to say get rid of the illegal miners. By virtue of the process of getting rid of illegal miners, according to these colleagues, people died. There was a massacre. And that is the correct definition of what transpired there. I will tell you, my brother, we've actually already written to the International Criminal Court of Justice to request them to indict these leaders. What transpired was a crime against humanity. You cannot. Let's look at the definition of a crime against humanity. That is exactly the definition of a crime against humanity. You cannot treat your own Zambians, your own people, in that manner. Even if you intend to displace them, do it decently. We can come up with a decent way of displacing them. So I will tell you.
There was a report which was given in effect to that, and it was discovered that many of the people that were there actually were illegal immigrants.
But it doesn't give you the right to take away a life. Whether a person is an illegal immigrant,
and they peacefully left that place when that memo came from cabinet.
My brother,
from the Zambia army.
My brother, we were burying people in Mumfumbwe. I was amongst the people who bought some coffins for people in Mumfumbwe. And I will tell you, the Zambian people know. We cannot downplay that. We cannot downplay that. This government negligently mishandled the Mumfumbwe saga. They mishandled it. The national wealth that we have, the natural resources, must first benefit the Zambian people before we can look at benefiting the foreigners.
And it's good to speak about the Mumfumbwe, because I think this year, even last year and the other year, we've seen an increase, in the number of people that have died as a result of illegal mining. What is your position on illegal mining and how you're going to deal with illegal mining?
And that has been as a result of bad policy by government. I will tell you what. If we have to do with miners, and I remember very well, President Hakainde Hichilema is on record promising small-scale miners. I call them small-scale miners. I can never call them illegal miners. Promising small-scale miners and artisanal miners that we shall ensure that we create an environment, an enabling environment for you to mine properly. Has that been done? They did not. What they did instead is to allow our colleagues to go on with whatever they were doing, and in the end they started calling them illegal miners. There was a presidential initiative to give artisanal mining licenses to gold miners in Mumbwa. In Mumbwa there, Matala area. What happened? Before you know it, right now as we are talking, they've chased all the artisanal miners there. Why? Because someone who is a bourgeoisie came and bought a whole concession, and now they're saying, no, we have to displace people. You can no longer make any coins from there. How unwise can this government be? How heartless can this government be? You create a fictitious presidential empowerment. You give people artisanal mining licenses that are valid. There are others that have got valid licenses, and yet you displace them. All government needed to do is to create an environment. How do you create an environment? Training of these artisanal mining licenses. Train them. Create a deliberate policy. If a person is acquiring an artisanal mining license, teach them how to ensure that they have safe mining rights. How do they mine safely? How do they go create benchmarks? You know, the benching in those pits should be done properly and correctly. You teach them. You don't let them just get those mining licenses and you just say, okay, before you know it, people are dying. This government has let that happen negligently. This level of negligence is what we must probe.
What will you do?
We must ensure that we create an environment that trains and teaches our artisanal mines how to do safe mining. And that shall be a government deliberate policy. A deliberate government policy. Now, look at it in this way. We've got a resource. For example, in Mumbwa, in Mumfumbwe, in Mpika, those are gold sites. In Rufunsa, in Chongwe, everywhere. Those are gold sites. How then can we capitalize on that? Have we created a vehicle that will allow us to purchase 3/4 of the gold that is mined in those areas, so as to ensure that we increase our gold reserves? Once you increase your gold reserves, your debt should be guaranteed by the amount of gold you have. Your currency will gain value just from the amount of gold that you're going to have. But this government doesn't care. All they are interested in is who is a person at State House or anywhere who's got interest in this area, so that whatever they mine there, they go and grab from the artisanal miners. And there's a lot of corruption. So what we need to do is to create a systematic system, a systematic way of ensuring that we guide our colleagues. We help them. Safe mining. You know what our colleagues may have done in Tanzania, for example? A person who discovers a gold mining site is given equipment to ensure that they mine for a certain period of time, up until government also takes control. But they do that in partnership with government. But what we do here, the moment we have a gold site or a copper site that is discovered, government comes in with ZNS, abusing ZNS, soldiers abusing our soldiers and defense and security forces. You go and remove people to the extent of even killing some. That is what government is doing, because they found one investor from abroad thinking it is only a foreigner who can solve our problems. That we have said no to. We have said we can have and resolve our problems locally. How then do we do it? Local investors. Before you can look at FDIs, foreign direct investment, you must also explore foreign investors. Do we have people with sufficient interest and sufficient resource base, whether human resource or technological resource or mechanical resource, to be able to run our mines? Yes, we do. We've got that. Do we have the capital base to be able to inject in these kind of investments? Yes, we do. I'll tell you the reason why. Mopani, the moment Mopani, is it KCM? The moment Mopani was given to these guys, they promised to inject, was it $400 million? Now, that $400 million, they promised us air. No money came in. But do you know what we did instead? We decided to give a foreigner $600 million for the Ndola Lusaka dual carriageway. We lent that money from our capital base, which is our pension fund. Our capital base. Are you telling me that a Zambian person who has got the knowledge, the experience in the mining industry, can fail to run Mopani if you already have a capital base, which is the pension fund? $400 million was going to be borrowed from our pension fund, which is the biggest capital base that we have. The same way that they lent foreigners to run the Ndola Lusaka dual carriageway. And that is a contract that actually raises red flags. For those of us that understand transactions and transactional contract law and all, we know that there were a lot of red flags there. We are making a loss on the Ndola Lusaka dual carriageway.
This week and into next week is very important because you'll be expected to filing for those that are contesting on different positions. How is the PF Pamodzi Alliance and the Tonse Alliance reconciling who will be adopted and who will be left out?
We have informed the Zambian people that by virtue of the fact that we are working together, we shall adopt candidates and we will use one ticket. We will both adopt candidates. We have a vibrant, very resolute group of teams, teams that are handling the adoption processes. Very, very objective individuals. Incorruptible, by the way. Incorruptible. Very objective men and women that are scrutinizing these candidates. And I can assure you, we are doing it together. And we will have one candidate in each and every constituency. All the 226 constituencies, we shall field in candidates. And we've received overwhelming response from the Zambian people. Overwhelming applications in all the 116 districts, in all the 398 councils. So we can confirm to you.
Yeah, would there be any particular bias, probably towards young people and women in the adoption process?
The time is now. The time is now that we give young people an opportunity. The time is now that we should drift away from the biasness that we've seen in this government, where Hakainde will come and tell you to say, no, we must amend Bill 7 because it's the only way we will give you an opportunity for you as a woman or as a young person or as a person living with disabilities to be adopted or to be in leadership. That is a biasness we don't want to live by. We've told ourselves that initially as a patriotic front, by the way, we had the political will to ensure that we deal with those issues because we had the trusted leadership. Article 259 provided for that. But our colleagues came with a lot of lies because they thought amending the constitution will advantage them in one way. Amending the constitution will create a scenario where whoever emerges victorious as president will have a majority, a super majority in the National Assembly. That is their mindset. They thought that Hakainde would actually have a super majority. But I want to remind them, in fact, I want to tell them and put it very clear that they're actually losing these elections. Our candidates, be it President Makebi, be it President Mundubile, will have the super majority. And then now we'll see what exactly you did with regards to coming up with an amendment which was politically motivated and selfishly designed or engineered. But I will tell you, the young people are key to the development of this country. Do you know why? Because they are in the majority.
And I was about to ask which province is your stronghold at the moment, that you know that you're going to get 100% of the vote?
Right now, I want to be very realistic and very honest with you. The biggest province which is our stronghold is Zambia. All the 10 provinces of this country have responded positively. All the 10 provinces of this country are disappointed with this regime. All the 10 provinces of this country cannot wait to cast their vote to remove this gentleman in State House today. All the 10 provinces. So we can safely say, Lusaka is gone, Kitwe, Copperbelt is gone, Eastern Province is gone, Luapula is gone, Northern Province is gone, Muchinga is gone, Western Province, Northwestern, Southern Province, name it. The entire country right now as we are talking, my brother, is going to vote out UPND. That I can confirm with you.
Don't you think you've been overconfident?
My brother, listen, I want you to manage and understand the kind of confidence I have. And this confidence can only be likened to a confidence of a honey badger, like I always indicate. We are winning these elections, and we are winning these elections flawlessly, without doubt. Today, the 14th of May, 2026, you should place it on record that I indicated that we are winning these elections flawlessly, without doubt, without any error of margin. And that I can assure you. The Zambian people everywhere, I will tell you, my brother, I've traversed the country right now. I've traversed everywhere. I was recently in Southern Province. We had the last AGM. And I had to travel by road deliberately. I moved from district to district, hearing what the Zambian people are saying with regards to the current regime. In the southern part of the country, the UPN want to consider their traditional stronghold. I will tell you that the Zambian people are resolved to removing this government. They said he lied to them. He lied to the Zambian people. This government lied to the Zambian people.
Did you ask them
they are resolved.
What he lied?
I mean, this president told us that he would reduce the cost of minimum to 50 kwacha. Has that been done? He told us that Zambians would be able to eat 3 meals in a day because the cost of living will be extremely low. Is it as low as it was? We are experiencing the highest recorded cost of living in the history of this country. Today, under the regime of Mr. Calculator, or is it Mr. Grafsman, he called himself to say numbers don't lie. He's got numbers to show that inflation rates have really improved, we'll be living in a single digit, all those figures. But are they trickling down to the grassroots? Mm. Are they trickling down to Bamake Eva or Bamake Joseph Kubauleni? Are they trickling down to Bamake Mundubile in Northern Province? No, they are not. So this is where we are. Mm. This president lied to the Zambian people that he will reduce the cost of fuel. Where are we today? The highest ever in the history of this country. He said there were middlemen who were enjoying from that. But we saw the amount of corruption from the single sourcing in the energy sector. We saw that. He said he would reduce or he would get rid of load shedding. Right now as we are talking, my brother, the Kampumba Strip or the northern, the central strip, Serenge, that area which has got manganese plants in this country, that area is operating at 10%. Or is it 20% now that they actually increased a bit of some power to give them? So this is how this economy has died. That area alone employs over 6,000 people in those processing plants for manganese. Mm. Those processing plants for steel. Over 6,000 people. Now those people have gone back to their homes. Because this gentleman, this government, President Hakainde, failed to run the energy sector. He failed. And I moved. I was in Western Province not long ago. These colleagues, I will tell you that where the Minister of Infrastructure comes from, the road is pathetic, for lack of a better term. Where the Attorney General of this country comes from, you would actually be able to see that these colleagues have done a disservice to an area where they come from. But come on, we need to be very realistic, colleagues. People are suffering. People are complaining. The cost of living is too high. The road infrastructure, very, very bad in those areas. I was on the Copper Belt just recently. Equally, the message is the same. Remember, I was going to Luapula because this government decided to persecute and prosecute me illegally or unlawfully, should I say. They prosecuted me in Luapula. I was traveling to and back and forth into Luapula. More than 15 trips that I made into Luapula. And the Zambian people in Luapula have said, uyutata na filwa. Uyutata ena na filwa ali tubeba. So in Luapula, people are upset. I was in Mpika in Muchinga province just recently. Equally in Muchinga province, people are saying, this colleague, we can't live like this. PF. They have created serious division in the Northwestern province. Go to Northwestern province today. The youths in Northwestern province, I was there recently. I visited the families of those people who were massacred in the Mumfumbwe saga. I visited them. They are equally saying, this government, we have discovered wealth that was given to us by God. But this government has decided to ensure that they close down all these mines. There is no more economic activity. But we want to reassure the Zambian people that that shall be reversed.
PF Pamodzi Alliance Secretary General Celestine Mukandila, thank you so much for making time to appear on this day tonight.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, that's our show for tonight.